Can't take everybody from us.
Is it not beautiful, America, as is the rest of the country and all that is what we are today? Hi guys, I'm Carl Anthony Jr. and I've been running for president since 2016, again in 2020, and once more again in 2024. And I'm gonna keep on running until you make me the president of this country, as you know, and we all know I should be. Today's episode of Off the Cuff, which this is episode 3 of Off the Cuff. I mentioned in my last video was episode 1. That was an error. I have another one before this. So this is episode 3 of Off the Cuff. Today's Off the Cuff is titled The Great American Debate. Why do Republicans and Democrats argue? And that's what it's all about. I got this topic from an actual American family man. I have several friends. Most of the friends I have are married with children, raising children in this country. I'm actually the only one with no children. I guess that means I'm a little dead inside, but I'll probably make a great president because of that, right? So I asked these guys, what is it that you want to hear Joe Biden, presidential candidate, talk about right now and provide solutions for right now? I didn't get a response from a couple of them, but I did get one response that sparked this thought in this video. He said, I want you to talk about why Republicans are always against liberal policy and using the Supreme Court to do it, and he would prefer there were term limits for said policy. And that was his main concern. So let's talk about that. Before I get into the depth of his question and the aspects of how it's going to affect us and what's going on, I want to give you guys a little history, a quick history about Democrats versus Republicans and what all this arguing and fussing about you always see. If you are not someone who has not paid attention in audio or visual or all aspects of your senses, you know that the Republicans and the Democrats seem to oppose each other at every turn, non-stop, since the beginning of America, is what it feels like, right? Well, first of all, even though America is known as a democracy, America is actually a republic with democratic principles. So do you notice? Republic for the Republicans with democratic principles, the Democrats. So there's two groups of guys. One group of guys who is focused on the republic aspect, which Ronald Reagan called trickle down. These are what you call today Republicans. Republicans believe that if you give all the money essentially to the companies, the business guys, the rich guys, they'll pay everybody else well, and then we'll all be able to spend money and live great. And they'll just be so generous in understanding that they'll make sure that all of the employees and people below them get the trickle down of that money. And they call it trickle down economics and whatnot. Well, Democrats, who are more based on the people, the voting structure of democracy, their concept is what you would call trickle up economics, which their logic is forget all that keep government small and give all the money to the rich guys and let them treat people well. The Democrats say, no, let's give them a lot of services from the government. Let's help them out with a lot of money. Let's pay them really high wages because people on lower level are just going to go out and spend anyway, and it's going to trickle up no matter what, and you'll still get all your money, rich guys. But the rich guys don't want to get their money second. They want to get it first. And this is pretty much the debate between Republicans and Democrats. Now, if you don't know a bit of history, back when civil rights, women's lived, and basically a lot of things changed in the early 60s into the 70s, there was something called the Southern Strategy, where previous to this, I don't know if you know this, the people that are Democrats now were the Republicans back then. The Republicans got people out of slavery. The Republicans were the abolitionists. The Republicans were the liberals. They were the good guys, as you would say, per se. And the Democrats were today's Republicans. The Democrats was like, no, slavery is the bomb. Nah, I don't like those guys with a tan. Nah, trickle down. That was that. And then in the 60s, when everything switched with women's lib and civil rights, they did something called the Southern Strategy, where the Republicans that were kind of the liberal types all became Democrats, and all the other ones that were Democrats that were all very conservative, they all became Republicans. And then there's this hybrid mix of them back and forth. And that's why they are kind of very similar. They're actually the same group, they've only just changed their name. So, the basic of all these arguments of why they are against the liberal policies, because that's the question you asked me, why are Republicans against these liberal policies? The Republicans believe that these liberal policies are making the government too big and not providing enough money for the trickle-down concept of letting the rich hand the money down to the poor and pay us well and they'll treat us great. So their whole job, their whole motive, every bill, every contact, every issue, every social issue, their whole goal I have watched for the last 46 years and 30 paying attention. Seriously, actually 36. I've been paying attention since I was 10 years old. For the last 36 years of paying attention, they have spent every waking moment trying to attack the kind of things that they think hurt the trickle-down concept. And I know you've paid attention to our Democrat buddies. They do the same thing. First thing Trump and Biden do when they get this, I'm getting rid of Trump stuff. I'm getting rid of Obama stuff. I'm getting rid of the last guy. I'm getting rid of Bush stuff. They're going to be like, I'm getting rid of Carl stuff. Forget that. That's just what they're going to do. They've been in my 8 years are over. I'm getting rid of this Carl stuff. He crazy trying to fix the world. Anyway, that's the whole point. So this is why these guys are arguing and they're in a constant debate. Now the problem is they're all Americans. They all have families. They all have friends. And there is not malicious intent. They don't want to hurt you. They don't want to see you die. These people have good intentions. They're just misled in their perspective because once again, trickle down versus trickle up. Are you a Lakers fan? Or are you a Celtics fan? Are you a Golden State fan? Or are you a Celtics fan? For as of right now, you get my point? And basically, they want their team to win so bad, your other style of basketball is wrong. And that's what Republicans and Democrats are taking each other. So, my friend mentioned they're using Supreme Court to do it. Once again, it basically matches what I just explained to you about everything else that you see as far as the debate and what one group thinks it's hurting versus what the other group thinks it's hurting. Okay? The same thing with the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is a chessboard. And basically, they're trying to get as many powerful pieces on the chessboard so when they want to make the move to get the trickle up or trickle down to work, they can use those pieces of that chessboard to move the country in a legal manner towards the goals they seek. So that's why there's so much manipulation of Supreme Court justices, manipulation of letting somebody's Supreme Court pick be acknowledged. I guess they look them over. I forget what the term is right now, but you know they vet them and then make sure that they're acceptable, and then they pass them through a vote. And that's why you see so much trouble with it. They wouldn't let Obama do it. You can't do one during wartime. Oh, you can't put one in right before you leave. And then George Bush put like 27 in 3 days a week. And then, as soon as Trump get in, I want 20 in. And then Biden's like, we need to add an extra one so we can just have the hand up no matter what. No. The Supreme Court is what it is. It's not going anywhere. It's not changing. But my friend had a phenomenal suggestion, and I bet you 80 to 90% agrees with this. Term limits on Supreme Court justice. I think it should be 16 years maybe, but I would prefer 8. I want a high turnover. One of my biggest things I want in government that I keep trying to get Americans to understand what we need. We don't need career politicians. We need people that want to do change, that want to give to their neighborhood, country, state, city, and government, and want to do it for the love of service. Not people that are doing it so they can make more money in their next job. And that's what a 10, 15, 20, 30, 40-year politician is. That is a guy working his way up the career level to make more money for a new job. That's why I'm going for president out the box. I don't care about all that. I don't want no friends in there. I don't no friends. Ain't no friends. Ain't no friends. No. Just like, what about your friends? I ain't got none. And I won't have any. My friends are the American people. There's 400 million people that are my friends. Only about 10,000 of them are not my friends, but the rest of y'all are. And that's what this is all about. So yes, the Supreme Court matters. Yes, take advantage of your opportunities to vote. Make sure you get your local judges chosen. Don't forget about your local judges. Those judges that send your friends to jail and make decisions about your city, your local and your state Supreme Courts. Remember, those exist too. So make sure you go for your midterm voting and vote for the people you really care about. I got a tip for you, because like, Carl, how should I vote? I don't know how to pick like like a nice guy politician, here's 2 tips for you that'll help you out. If you notice that the politician has been in the position for close to 2 terms or more, it's time for them to go. After the 2nd term, just like the president, you're a temporary employee just like the president. How are you going to be the most powerful man in the world and you're going to have a longer term than the most powerful man in the world? It makes no sense. So anything longer than 2 terms, whether it's 2 years or 4-year terms, 2 terms, sorry, see you, we want somebody new. Now you're saying, Carl, well, how do I pick the right person once we get these term limits taken care of? I'll tell you how to do it. You know how I pick people when I go vote now? I used to vote just all blue, straight down the list. Maybe I pick a specific one from the other side if I really thought he had value, but all blue, all the time. Now what I do is I go look at the person's name, I see who the incumbent is. I see if he's somebody that seems like a name I've seen around for years and they've been around a long time, and I look at their occupation. Look at the competition's occupation. If that person is a teacher, a community organizer, a trash man, or anybody that's not a businessman, like a regular person like me and you, vote for that person every time. If he's some money-making bidder, he's a former banker, he's a lifetime lawyer, politician, man, don't vote for them dudes no more. I don't care what party they are. Vote for the person that was a school teacher. I don't care what party it is. Last thing I'm going to talk about, now that we've covered those things in today's Off the Cuff, I want to talk about the party situation. Guys, there are at least 6 to 7 major parties in this country, technically, that are registered as parties. 2 of them you pay attention to. There are like 5 other ones. I can't run them off the head right now, but you've heard of these many parties. Kanye ran under one of them. The Green Party is one of them. The Independent Party is one of them. They're working on something called the People's Party that's out there, and there's several others. Actual political parties that have access to all the debates and can vote and win in every state just like those 2 parties can. So stop telling me you can't vote for anyone else. That's you being scared of not being on the winning team. You're scared to step out there and say, hey, I like the Charlotte Hornets. It's okay to like the Charlotte Hornets. It's okay to be an Orlando Magic fan. I know you get what I'm saying with this. It is okay to like a bad team. It's okay to like USA Soccer, men's. The women are good, but the men, I'm a USA guy. I'm like, hey, go Mexico. Woo. But only during the Olympics. But I love America, of course. I'm just joking. But our men, step it up, boys. That's why the women are getting paid more. Or equal. Now, I think they got the soccer equal now. And the women deserve it because you know why? They're better than the men. They're bringing in numbers, kicking butt. And that's America. And that's what we have to do with our politicians. The guys we like that are independents and green and different, vote for them, man. Give them your votes. Give them a little shine. Let them get up there on that debate stage and fuss with the Democrats and Republicans. Don't just leave the Democrats and Republicans to have the whole conversation every time. Get a 3rd or 2nd guy from a different party up there. You guys might mess around and like him more than both of them. But you got to try it. It's called draining the swamp. Trump talked about it. You clown him. You say, oh, you going to drain the swamp, Trump, what you going to do? The way of draining the swamp is not voting for Republicans and Democrats just because they're Republicans and Democrats. Vote for the best politician, a politician you trust the most. And I personally believe all Americans should abandon both major parties. Let's starve them out. In 4 to 8 years of not voting for both of them, we could wipe them all out of all politics and there'd be nothing but independents and Green Party people and good, nice people. No more career politicians would be in. No more people for you to complain about taking bribes. No, we all new people. You could do that in 4 to 8 years just by having the heart to go to the voting booth where there's nobody with a gun or an M16 pointed at you. There's nobody on Facebook or Twitter going to hurt you or danger to. Nope, none of that. This isn't Afghanistan or some other country where you got to get ink on your finger and duck 6 bullets just to go vote. This is America. Vote any way we want. So, for my off-the-cuff closing, I need you to act like it. And once again, remember, I am Carl Anthony Jr. I'm running for President of the United States as an independent, and I want to inspire you to start independent parties all across this country in your own states. Take your cities back. Take your states back. Take your police departments back in areas where you feel like you have problems with the police. Save your country. It's up to us, because you've watched what I've watched for the last 40 years. Nothing but it getting worse, and the rich getting richer, the poor getting poorer, and more homeless people on the street. It's time to stop being scared, vote independent, and vote for who you love, which is you. All right, America. Peace.
Years you've been holding my stock back. It's time for reparations, time for getting the block back.